They say karma is a bitch, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. What they mean is that it's relentless, and payback will come eventually, even if it takes decades. 37 years ago, I was a struggling art student, and handsome young Dick Ranck, registrar of the Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts, helped me get a scholarship there. Dick has had his ups and downs since then. He's had heart attacks and art shows, but he has maintained an all-consuming dedication to his work, family, and friends. So karma, what is Dick Ranck gonna get? He's gonna get the undying love of his family and friends, and someday, the recognition that his art so clearly deserves.
This is what you'll get. This is what you'll get when you mess with us.
My name's Dick Ranck. This particular show is a combination of sculpture and painting. It reflects my interest in both color and surface. I liked putting the surface of the sculptures into my painting, and I like taking the palette of my paint onto the sculpture. I do these things at the same time and enjoy the process of both. I'm really basically untrained as a sculptor, which means that I don't come with any idea of what sculpture is supposed to be. When I'm looking at a piece of wood, well, I'm looking at just what it seems like it could be. 15 years ago, I took up chisel and hammer and mallet and started making dimensional things that were heavily influenced by early cultures, Aboriginal, African, South American. I've always been interested in that work since I was an art history major in college. I spend a great deal of time at the Metropolitan Museum of Art looking at the section of Oceania. The sculpture that's there has had a tremendous influence on my work, along with body painting from Africa and New Guinea. The ceremonial stripes and marks on the dark skin spoke to me, gave me a palette to think about. The skill of the sculpture and the ambition of it also fired me up, and looking at things that could be complicated or simple within the same framework of wood has been a tremendous influence on me. I've come to understand it or think of it as being entirely sophisticated, well beyond the realm that it's been ascribed to it. The first art, as I have come to understand it, was a way of communicating with the unseen world, the forces which acted upon the cultures but were unseen and unable to be communicated with, but were felt, feared, and also adored. Everything has a beginning and everything has an end, and I think that occupies the thoughts of most people. Usually we're celebrating beginnings and don't give much thought, other than some science, to how things begin. Most cultures, most all people are very concerned with how things end because it spells the finite amount of time they have to enjoy or not enjoy the things around them. I've become more and more interested with that as I've grown older and had my own life experiences which brought me closer to the ends of things.
Does Tallulah represent a form of immortality for you?
No.
Why not? She's going to live forever.
Immortality to me is interesting in stories, but is hampering in life. I don't think about immortality. I just think about mortality and the joy of it. So she certainly represents the joy of being alive. The idea that when we die, we become part of the matter from which we came, the air, the sky, and the water, is very appealing to me. It was a part of early Greek culture and philosophy. I've taken that up in my thinking, and so when I'm making these paintings, they often reflect my emotional response to that, and also my interest in some ideas of theories of the infinite, the way that science is continually looking to understand the universe and what the particles of it are, what the origins of matter are, from which we all spring and to which we appear to all return. From the 80s on, the idea of heroism became a major force in my work, and expressing the idea of doing good or trying to do good or being risky. All elements of heroism became very interesting to me. I just simply looked at stories, whether it was the stories of Achilles or the actions of day-to-day people. Some people, regardless of their background or what armor or suits they're wearing, do heroic things. It's something that's demanded of all of us in some respects. Following some ethos, because it's so difficult to achieve, requires some heroism. So that plays a part. Either the achievement of it, as in the piece called Fear and Courage, or in the diminishment of it, as in the last days of the Minotaur, plays a role in all the work that I do.
You said this was your daughter's favorite. Why?
The idea of courage challenging fear is something that she cares a great deal about. She just thinks it's important.
And does Tallulah enter into that?
I don't know if this will ever be in the film, but John is continually prodding me for some gigantic, apocryphal statement about my new granddaughter. He's not getting it.
Well, I'll have to make one up then.
That will be fun.
I'll have to plumb your mind and find what you really think.
Bring a long string.
I've given all I can, it's not enough. I've given all I can, but we're still on the payroll. This is what you'll get. This is what you'll get. This is what you'll get when you mess with love. For a minute, I lost myself. I lost myself.
As she was leaving the gallery for a well-deserved nap, Tallulah told me she is very proud of her grandfather as both a man and an artist. She prompted me to ask Dick about the relationship between his art and life.
In relation to friends, family, and everything that comes into my work, I grew up thinking that everything we do is part of a whole thing. So I really don't separate out friends, family, art. They aren't separate compartments for me. I try to bring something from each into the lives or actions of other things that I do.
Dick, do you remember getting me a scholarship to the Academy, and do you ever regret that?
Let my silence speak volumes.
I just accidentally broke a penis, but Dick knows how to fix those things.